Runescape has started its journey to slowly but surely bring the physical skill cap of skills from 99 to 110, and in this video I'd like to talk about my plans for the upcoming 110s. Whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Mining and smithing were recently extended to level 110, but the update left much to be desired. Perhaps my expectations for the update were a little bit high due to me starving for some new and exciting content. I'm not implying the update is bad, I'm just saying it's straight average and the rewards weren't really all too exciting either. The highest tier reward in the form of being able to smith the Masterwork two-handed sword without boosts just isn't there, as the item is meh. With all of that being said, Jagex has become a lot more attentive to community feedback, so I do believe the upcoming 110 extensions will be released as a more polished and appealing package. There are 4 skills that will be extended to level 110 in the coming 9 months, being Woodcutting, Fletching, Runecrafting, and Crafting. It's worth noting that Woodcutting and Fletching will be released as a combined package. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because it's really the first time since maxing my main account that I felt the need to actually level my skills. Before the mining and smithing update released, I went and leveled my mining from level 102 or so to level 110 to make sure I would be able to mine all of the new ores on release. But unfortunately, in my case, you could mine all of the ores at level 100, so I kind of did it for nothing because there was no content beyond level 100 mining. There was for smithing, but not for mining. A very big reason as to why I did this pre-release instead of just waiting for the new ores to train on those is because I'm a content creator and I like to test new things and show you what it's all about so you can decide if the content is worth doing for yourself. And it's by far some of the most enjoyable content to create. And I'm going to be doing the exact same thing for all the other skills extending to level 110 in the near future. Ironically, the first skill releasing as part of the Woodcutting and Fletching extension, Woodcutting, is a skill I don't really feel all too motivated to level right now. As I just mentioned, I went for level 110 mining pre-release only for all the ores to be set at level 100. I don't want to be making that mistake again, so what I'm focusing on first is level 110 fletching. I still might go for woodcutting, but I'm going to be focusing on fletching first because I expect all the new logs or new log to be set at level 100 woodcutting. And I expect the new hatchet to require level 100 woodcutting just as the pickaxe of life and death requires 100 mining. I'm also focusing on fletching first because the mod said this in a recent roadmap livestream.
I guess an important thing to emphasize is that the 110 skills aren't by default making any quality of life improvements to these skills or adding new skilling methods. It's about adding in a new tier of content at 100 and some goals around that.
The new goals in this case for fletching are going to be a new bow and a Masterwork ranged weapon. It's safe to say that the bow will require level 100 fletching, which I already have, and the Masterwork ranged weapon, which could just be a little bit better than a sword, I'm hoping so, perhaps a passive, who knows, perhaps not, will require level 110 fletching. I'll be getting level 110 fletching by making sure I smack all my daily free bonus XP and lamps from Treasure Hunter into the skill automatically, and to get 6 instead of 3 daily keys, I made sure to take off all my other skills to only gain fletching daily challenges, which I can easily complete to gain 3 additional keys and some chunks of experience, which definitely adds up every single day. Since I'm not really in a rush to be getting 110, I'm not extending my dailies to double the XP as Viswax is a little bit pricey. I may do that for some of the other skills though, but for fletching I don't think it's necessary. I'm also doing a bunch of daily art contracts for extra experience and do intend to level fletching a little bit using a more expensive method such as tipping arrows once I start getting close. At that point I'll have saved up so much bonus XP that I'm going to be breezing through those levels. The other 2 skills going to level 110, at least so far, are standalone updates and will likely remain that way, and something about that seems intriguing, as if we'll be getting more content in one of those extensions compared to, let's say, just mining, separate from mining and smithing being extended. I'm really curious to find out more about the 110 Runecrafting extension, which is dropping somewhere in the first half of 2025. It's supposed to become the skill to craft high-tier magic weapons, just as smithing is for high-tier melee weapons, with no passives. I would expect you need level 100 for a new magic weapon and level 110 for another new, except this time a magic, Masterwork weapon. Interestingly, 110 Runecrafting might not even necessarily add a new tier of rune to the game, at least according to lead designer Mod Jack.
I think you would intuitively expect a new tier of runecrafting to come with a new rune.
Yes.
But the game doesn't really need a new rune.
Right.
Doesn't say we can't add one.
Right.
But it's not like it's screaming out for one.
Yeah.
And so adding it for the sake of it is maybe not the best idea. So that's not to say we won't do it or we will do it, but that's the sort of complex design discussion that we need to have.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I would expect to have a new training method, surely, but hey, maybe that doesn't necessarily need to require the rune in terms of runecrafting, or perhaps it could be a different process, which is more like smithing, where you use items to craft those new weapons, and that takes a long time, like masterwork armor. And that's a new training method. Now, currently, I'm at level 101 runecrafting, but I don't really think I'll have many issues getting to 110. Training using the Soul Outer or Necro runecrafting all fine, and I reckon I'll have no issues getting to 110 that way. But since I've saved up so many protein items of different types, I can simply convert them to protein essence and do it that way completely AFK. Look, I am motivated to get to level 110 for a couple of reasons, including content creation, but if I don't have to stare at my screen doing the exact same thing over and over, I'm going to be picking that method. From my current XP, without any bonus XP or boosts, I would need 30,855 protein essence to get to level 110. If I were to train on double XP, which is definitely going to happen somewhere around November, I would only need half of that. And that's not even accounting for any bonus XP I collect from my dailies, completing daily challenges, and or using other boosts. On top of that, I still have plenty of XP boosting items, and even if I don't have those items, I can still use some unstable proteins I have, which cannot be used while using XP boosting effects such as an XP pod or during double XP, but give you more base XP. Unstable protein items give you 10% more XP than base proteins, by the way. 110 crafting is the one I'm most unsure of. It does sound really interesting, but it could just be a bunch of tier 100 ranged armor sets that you're going to be able to craft. I'm thinking it might add a masterwork armor set, which is the reason I am going to be going for level 110 crafting, but I'm not rushing it as it's likely at least half a year out. And crafting is one of those skills that can be expensive depending on the prices, especially if you want to use some of the faster methods. I'll be sure to dump all of my bonus XP and lamps in crafting as soon as I finish runecrafting, which is going to help a ton. Additionally, I think the upcoming scaling boss is going to be one method I'll be gaining more crafting experience, as the mods mention it giving decent experience, not meta experience, but decent experience. And let's say I want to make a loot video for that boss, I'm going to be getting it a lot. I'm just trying to save any money I can by not training the skill through the more expensive methods, but perhaps in time, certain methods will be really cheap and I'll just knock it out. With the information I have at the time of recording this video, I think any other skill extension will at least be a year out. Jagex has the next several years to do the rest according to their own post, and that's if they even stay committed to this plan to extending all skills to 110, with the exception of skills at level 120 already, of course, such as invention or farming. And thankfully, I already have a lot of skills knocked out at level 110, and those 120s all finished. I don't really see fire making, fishing, and cooking being all that interesting, and I believe Mod Jack even mentions in that live stream that fire making is probably not all that interesting because, let's say they added a new tier of log to fire making through the 110 woodcutting update. They could, but it's just not interesting. I'll probably just get these skills in the order they are announced to be released and then start worrying about them. But what I'm most interested in is summoning going to level 110 and Hunter. There's just so much room for summoning to be reworked and grow, and Hunter could be used as the gathering skill for crafting. In fact, the mods, more specifically Mod Jack, mentioned that this was part of his original pitch.
A question that's come up in the chat a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Why isn't Hunter the gathering skill for crafting? So we do have the option of doing that. I didn't want to. That was my original pitch, was that it would be Hunter and crafting.
Right.
But I'm not, again, because we're talking a long way into the future, we haven't designed it, we haven't looked at the scope of that, we haven't looked at whether that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to present the update as that on the roadmap.
Right.
It's not a Hunter and crafting update because it might not make sense to do Hunter as well. For me, that makes sense, but I haven't investigated whether that's actually a good idea.
Right.
So that is not what we're claiming it will be.
Yeah, so it might be that some of the ingredients in that equipment comes from Hunter, but we're not necessarily going to mandate that from the beginning. Yeah.
It's a long way away and things are bound to change. I'll be focusing on getting the skills mentioned in this video up to level 110 first, and then worry about the rest. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting, and please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.